So on camera, you can see the lovely Anne Botting.
Hi, everyone.
Who is the owner of the college here today. So I'm going to introduce her in a moment. Just a couple of housekeeping things first. I'm Melanie. I'm not the presenter. I'm just helping get stuff organised. I will be keeping an eye on the chat for Anne. So, excuse me. Thank you. If you have any questions, then just drop them in the chat, or if they're questions where you don't want other people to see your questions, just drop them in the Q&A. I think everyone knows how to use Zoom after a year and a half of using it. We'll probably go for about 30 minutes or so, but we will make sure that we answer all the questions along the way, so fire them in. And actually, if somebody could do me a favour and just put something in the chat to confirm that you can actually hear us, that would be a really good start. Thank you. Please, please, please. Yes, everybody did. Great. Thank you. Awesome.
Okay, we just want to also check, have we got any registrations today of people that are not in either Victoria or Western Australia? If you can just let us know what state you're in the chat, so that I make sure I cover those states as well.
Because most of the people we invited,
New South Wales,
okay, we invited quite a few from WA and Victoria, but it looks like we've got quite a few from New South Wales.
Oh, and Tasmania.
Right.
Great.
You're our first person from Tasmania.
Okay, welcome to that. Okay, some of our Victoria people, you may have seen the news this morning, are probably off watching their Victoria.
What do you want to call it?
Well, I don't quite know what you're going to call it in the construction industry in Victoria. So they'll be joining us to see what happened in their riots and everything extra. So they're probably just still watching the press release, and we'll catch back up. So because of for Victoria's sake, and because of a lot of around this country, we've got New South Wales people and everything extra. So our Tassie people, we know that you haven't been involved much with lockdowns, and our Western Australia people. But for the others, we will do a very quick, because of Victoria today, a quick construction joke, so we all have a bit of a
I think you're in danger.
Oh, we all need a good laugh before we get into what's actually we're here for today. So here's my construction joke for the people in construction industries and for our Victorian people for today. So it's called a lost ear accident. This is really bad, but that's okay. Two labourers, John and Dave, were working, and John, upon a scaffolding accident, cut off his ear. So you've got John lost his ear. He yells down to Dave, "Hey, look out for my ear. I just cut it off." A bit later, Dave calls up to John, "Is this your ear?" And John looks down and says, "No, mine had a pencil behind it." Oh.
I promise you it's going to get a bit, the quality is going to improve. Look, we've lost someone already here. Okay, let me introduce everybody. So Anne is, as you know, as you can tell, does bad jokes. If you ever end up on her database, you'll end up getting sent a bad joke every month.
Yeah, it goes with all of my newsletters and everything.
But Anne's owned this college now for how many years?
16 plus years.
So I will just get Anne to introduce herself, and then we're going to focus today on talking about the wage subsidies that are the non-COVID stimulus stuff, the more general wage subsidies, and how you can get those by putting people on relevant, useful courses for your business.
Yeah.
So tell us the 1 minute description of Global Training and who you are and where you came from.
Okay, so this is me and my husband Shane. Shane's our training manager. He's a civil engineer, but has worked up through the ranks, being for his associate diploma. So he understands people from industry as well as being a business coach and things. So he, has got a great understanding, relates to all your HR people as well as all of the employees within your organisations. So Shane heads up our team of trainers. We've probably got 12 trainers, and we've got over 40 something team members at Global Training now, thousands of students all around the country. Been doing online training for the last 12 years. So when COVID hit, we were already, nothing changed for us because our trainers talk to all of our students over the phone. We've just added some additional training methods in, so where we don't go out to companies now, we tend to Zoom our trainers in, but still very interactive.
Okay, and I don't know if you said this, your head office is in New South Wales, but you are currently sitting on
I'm sitting on our Sunshine Coast office because we can't get to our New South Wales office. We have a big sign up saying, due to COVID, the office is closed.
Well, you can get there, but you may never be able to get back
into Queensland, and in Queensland we're considered essential and we have to keep coming to work when there's a lockdown, but our New South Wales office, because we're online, say that no, we're not, so we don't go into the office there. So that's a bit of an interesting scenario.
Right. So let's talk about what are we going to cover today? What's the main topic?
Okay, so what we're going to be looking at is how you as business owners or HR people can access a wage subsidy for your people, that some of your existing people and your new people, and also how they will benefit from doing a qualification course with us.
Now, a lot of people have preconceived ideas. As soon as they hear about boosting apprenticeship commencements, they think it's got something to do with apprenticeships. And you are going to explain how this is not just for kids and it's not just for apprentices. And
yeah, all of those good things. So, okay, so don't worry. So it's called boosting apprenticeship commencements. Just we call it back because it's got nothing to do with boosting, nothing to do with apprenticeships, or nothing really to do with commencements. So, but what happened is so it's a 50% wage subsidy funded by the federal government, up to $28,000 per employee who participate in professional development with us. So they register basically as a trainee, either as a new worker or an existing worker, but don't worry, I'll cover it all, and it's for your mature age people as well. It's not just for 16, 17 and 18-year-olds. And you will get $7,000 per quarter, up to half their wages back into your bank account.
Right, and it really is almost that simple, isn't it? But you're going to explain today what the exceptions are, who's eligible, who's not, how people can figure it out so that they know whether they can actually get it or not. That's interesting. Yeah, so it's new and existing employees enroll into our approved courses, and they're slightly different, the courses that you can do in each of the states, but we'll cover that as well. And there are a lot more options for new employees than there are for existing, but there are a limited number available for existing as well. So how did this all come about? Okay, so last year the government really needs to get our people back into the workforce because of COVID and everything extra. So JobKeeper came to an end. At the end of last year, they opened up this program called Boosting Apprenticeships Commencements. With our 100,000 sort of training places then, very quickly, some of the big employers put it on. It was originally open for new and existing. Big employers put it on and put all their existing on, and so the government went, we had to, so like pink bats all over again, basically. Yeah, so they had to quickly pull it all in. But they've re-released it again in the budget that's coming out now. So a lot of people will have heard that it closed last year, but it hasn't actually closed for existing workers and new workers. And it's been re-released into the budget now. It's running at the moment till the end of March next year, but we're fully recommending to everyone to get in early now. And get them sorted. I mean, everything's changing so fast. So fast. So the government can either decide to pull. I know it's been very busy. They put it out with $2.7 billion program extra into it, but whether that starts to run out, I'm not sure. So we're just recommending to all of our employees just to get it organised now. Well, I've still got places with trainers. Because once you're in, you get 12 months, don't you? It doesn't stop paying in March. No, it doesn't stop. The last registrations at the moment are from, have to be in by March, but we're saying to everyone, get in and get it organised now. And they are slowly tightening up on it over time, aren't they? They are, yes. They're reviewing the list of apprenticeships for of existing worker things and cutting a few more of them out and different things. So yeah, get in early. So this is just showing the original. Have you got I have one here. This just shows, look, it's a Reggie link, dinky-die government approved program, and it's all up and running and everything extra. We've got lots and lots of employees that have already signed their people up with us, and these are some sample official forms that we're getting from the government saying that Max has been approved, and who we got here? This one is Matthew's been approved, and Sandra's been approved, and who's this one? Sally's been approved, and John's been approved, and Thomas has been approved. So so they're just a couple that have come in over the last week. And it's what you're talking about today is legitimate. It's government actually wants you to put people onto this program. I mean, as long as, and you'll explain the things that you have to do to make sure that you're doing it properly and not, trying to, sort of game the system, whatever. But as long as you're doing it properly, then this is actually perfectly legitimate, and you could get a significant chunk of your workforce on a wage subsidy. Absolutely, yes. And it really is. Look, I'm an employer, and to any benefits at the moment,
Yeah, are certainly not to be sneezed at, and really take advantage of them, because it really is great. Because I think we're about to move on and look at why it's good for the employer. Yeah, so it's good for the government, it's a win for employers and a win for employees.
So why would the government do it? It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, but for them, it's boosting the employment. They're looking at people getting training. Yeah, we have to, COVID's shown that we need to be increasing our manufacturing, our innovation, and everything here in the country. We really need to be upskilling. The government is fully well aware of that. I was just looking at a building newsletters today to say we're running out of construction materials. Yeah, I tried to move house last year, and the white goods and different things that we had, everything was my COVID specials. I called it all my COVID unit because everything was limited. I had to, put up with what I could find in the shops. So yeah, for the government, they really need to, it's a good program for them. People, when they come on, are actually participating in the training, they're learning things, we're becoming more innovative as a country.
Which is where we're trying to go, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, so it's a present and it's a gift to you as the business owners from the government, so take advantage of it.
So what's in it for the employers? Obviously, if you get a subsidy, you're going to save money.
Yeah, which you can use for all sorts of things. You can use it for putting on extra people. You can use it to get projects done and that you've been putting on the back burner. You can use it for innovation in your organisation that you can then you roll out a new business stream.
So take yourself, for example, you guys put on some extra people,
yes,
claimed the wage subsidy, and then are using that to do projects.
Absolutely, yeah. We've got new stuff rolling out all the time, and we're using this program to actually do that. And so, because it's a huge benefit to the employees as well, and a huge benefit to us and our business.
So what does it do for the employees?
Okay, so for the employees, look, undertaking professional development as a new person or an existing person is so great for their own self-confidence. They use it for the work skills, because when they train with us, they don't have any silly little activities in booklets to do or exams and essays. They're working on your business policies, procedures and systems, writing, fixing things. They learn so much more about the company. They adjust, they get to show that they're proactive. Yeah, it's really just so many benefits. I get here as the owner of the college the privilege of every week getting sent in all the survey forms from our students that have completed that week. So we just ran graduation a couple of weeks ago, and that was with another 186 students. So they finished their course with us since April, and then we'll have another one at the end of the year. But they just found like the support from the office staff, I couldn't sing their praises high enough. They're always friendly, courteous and helpful. Yeah, somebody from a personal development point of view. I always questioned my abilities when I started my very course with GTI, but with their encouragement and support, I've now completed 3 diplomas.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we just have pages and pages of the differences that completing their qualifications make to the students.
Because one of the things that some of the employers on this event are probably thinking is, yeah, I would love to get a wage subsidy, but my people won't want to do a course.
Okay, just ask them. You provide so much more loyalty, and people really are looking to upskill. Yeah. And to actually even impress the employer that they are doing things as well.
And I think people tend to be put off by the idea of doing a course because they think it's going to be exams and essays, but you're going to talk about that.
Yeah, no exams, no essays when they do it with us, and no silly little activities in the books.
Okay, so who's eligible for this?
Okay, so for the companies that are eligible, it's all employers, any size, any industry, any location. So yes, Tasmania, you are welcome. To Western Australia, you're welcome. New South Wales, Victoria, all states. Who can't do it is the state governments and the federal government. So if you're involved in federal organisation or state organisation, sorry guys, not for you. Councils, local councils, absolutely. And we're working with councils in each of the states at the moment on this program.
And charities, yes.
Charities, yes. Not-for-profits, yes. All those good things are all yes, yes, yeses. So it is for your junior staff and your professional staff. The only people basically that can't do it are the directors of the company and your senior level management.
Right, so if you're running the organisation, then you're not expected to be a trainee.
No. So you can help supervise the other people that you do put on.
And citizenship-wise?
Okay, Aussie citizens and the Kiwis, because we can't send them home at the moment.
We want to go home.
Melody's a Kiwi, and she had how many people in the lottery yesterday?
30-something thousand where I heard this morning at the end.
30-something thousand people were trying to get into quarantine places back in New Zealand for how many places?
3,200.
For 3,200. So you've got 36,000 people wanting to leave our shores, head back to New Zealand. So since they can't go back, they've been stuck here and they're here longer than 6 months, you go put them on the course because they can't get into quarantine and go home.
Yeah, not funny.
Sorry. No, it's not funny. Most of them were a lot of them were in tears. Yeah, very sad stories.
Funny for me, but not funny. Okay, so let's talk about, I know you wanted to do this calculation and show people what could be financially worth.
Yeah, we've got lots of employers that we're working with that are earning, as saving in their wages, these sorts of figures. So yeah, if you've got one person, absolutely, put them on, and $28,000 can make a huge difference to your business. If you've got 5 that are eligible, put them all on. You got 20, put them on. So yeah, there's some big things that you can actually do with the dollars, and some really good value you can do with it as well.
Now, one of the questions that people often ask is, you get 28,000, but do you have to pay for the course out of that? Okay,
so depending what your state is and things. So basically say, yes, you are going to, this is the minimum. So you will always have $20,000+ left after it. So majority, if you just keep in mind and say, yes, I'm going to pay for the course out of it, and you'll pay, global training. We pay that in installments, so it's not straight, hard cash up front for you, and we can work that through. If you happen to be in New South Wales and you're putting on new workers, then they are totally free. The government pays for them. So
you get to keep the whole 28.
You keep the whole 28 in New South Wales, but in the other states, just say, and your existing workers, just expect you're going to keep more than $20,000.
Okay, so we have a couple of questions from the chat. Does this apply for office-based workers?
Okay, so any of your new office-based workers, absolutely. So diploma of business, leadership, management, HR, again, depending what the state is as to which course applies. But when you get our kit from us, it goes through which of the states. Western Australia, keep in mind that your leadership and management is the best one for you. Okay, for your existing workers, it's mostly office-based. If you are HR or you are the admin people that are involved in workplace health and safety.
Yeah, so you'll show them in a moment.
Yeah, we'll show them.
There's only a couple of courses for existing office workers, but for new office workers is plenty.
Plenty, yes.
And we'll explain the difference between new and existing because it's not as straightforward as you'd think as well. Okay, another good question here from Lee. Is there a limit of how many employees per company?
No, so as long as your employees fit the job roles and things and they're all legitimate, then absolutely put them on. Yeah.
So the only limit that I've seen is if you're upgrading a lot of casuals to permanent,
right,
then for them to be considered new workers, you're limited at 30, but that's a very specific set of circumstances. So you can pretty much safely say not really.
Yeah.
Okay, some anonymous attendee would like to know what specific courses meet the criteria.
Okay, so we'll be covering that in just a moment, so we might move on.
Okay, let's find that one. So courses approved for existing
workers. Okay, so workplace health and safety is the main one. We did have another couple, but the government has already chopped them off the list. So we're fully suggesting get in and get things approved now before they reduce the list. So what happened was last year, when they brought it down, they actually cut most of the existing workers out. They kept just a very small list of qualifications that you can still do. So if you're into pet styling, you can do a certificate in pet styling, and if you want cyber security, that's on the list. And if you want to collect the captive animals, that's on the list as well. So there's only very, very few. The ones that we've got for existing workers is workplace health and safety. So if you are in any sort of a health and safety role, whether you are the HR person that's administering it and writing policy procedures, or your outdoor staff and you're actually supervising people with safety, that has been the main one. So if you're the office administrator and you've got workplace health and safety responsibilities, they're the people you can put on. In Western Australia, for those that are in Western Australia today, you have to be doing workplace health and safety in that state for about 70 or 80% of your job. So anyone involved in that sort of field, and workplace health and safety, keep in mind it's the health as well at the moment with COVID and everything extra running.
And people working from home.
People working from home, they're all of our workplaces. So have a good think about that, even a bit more laterally, a bit more outside the box.
So if you're a big hotel chain, you can't put 200 bartenders on.
No, it's a problem, but you would definitely, if you've got a big hotel, you've got people writing those workplace health and safety courses, you've got people training them, and you've got supervisors checking the workplace health and safety.
Then those ones would
yes,
is suitable. Yeah.
Definitely. So you would still have, so every organisation would have to have 1 or 2 workplace health and safety people, unless you're a sole operator and don't have any employees, because that is fully argumentable. You know, it's a good case for an argument at the moment that, you know,
it's important right now.
So important right now, and you suddenly need to train all of your people and write policy, procedures and systems around COVID things, as well as normal workplace health and safety out there.
The other thing that might be worth mentioning to people is that although you don't offer them, the other courses on that list are generally like trades.
Yes.
So you've got an opportunity, if you want to put on an apprentice from one of your existing workers, then you could get a
you can do for that as well. Yes. Okay. The other one is civil construction. So this is for any of the civil construction companies and councils who we do leading hand supervisors, overseers, project managers and above. They have got their Cert 4 in civil construction supervision and operations on the list as well. And so we're training lots of companies for that within each of the states. So we've got some Victoria groups about to start, some more Western Australia groups. So
for these 2 courses, the person can have been permanent full-time with you for 20 years.
Absolutely.
And you can still get a wage subsidy.
Yeah, so as long as they haven't got either, they specifically got their Cert 4 in WHS or their Cert 4 in civil supervision.
You can put them through it.
You can put them through, yeah. Even if they're working at a level now, because your wage subsidy goes for 12 months, we make the course stretch over 12 months as well. And it's not, even if they've got lots of experience, it's not going to be a hard course for them. So they
ties into one of the questions.
Yeah, so if you're actually sort of doing, you know, like if you're the project manager or the foreman out on the civil side, you're doing a lot probably higher level duties than the Cert 4 civil supervision intact. But if they haven't done it before and haven't got it, they can easily just get it done as part of their daily jobs.
Yeah, and get a wage subsidy.
And get the wage subsidy for it as well. And then you can use that wage subsidy to actually be doing other training. A lot of our companies have got people have purchased other higher level training, diplomas, advanced diplomas for their people, and they're funding it from their wage subsidy.
And actually that ties in with the question we've got from Mason. He said, hello, I've just had a quick look at one of the courses and the time required says your assessments may take around 4 hours per week. Does this include the study time and the tutorials and the courses?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So you'll explain that a bit later.
Yeah, I will. I'll cover that.
Now, you've done it again, Anne. A couple of weeks ago when we ran this, we got this question. Did I hear correctly from Toril that cybersecurity is a supported course?
Yes,
you need to put cybersecurity on your course.
On my course, but I don't have a trainer at the moment. So if you happen to know all about cybersecurity and training it and can come up with materials, because there's no training materials out there either. So
yeah, we're hiring. But in the meantime, yes, cybersecurity is on that list for existing workers.
Yeah,
we just don't know where you can go to.
No, I have no idea who would actually be training it. But
okay, here's a good question from Marcus. If staff already have higher qualifications, like a bachelor's or MAP diploma or something, can they still be eligible?
Yes, absolutely. This does not keep anyone out of the program. So yeah,
so if you've got engineers,
they can, and they don't have their Cert 4 in WHS, absolutely. Yeah, they can come and join.
Okay, great.
They can have their MBAs. They can still come and join.
So just want to talk us through the legalities in the process of how it works for existing workers.
Okay, so existing workers, okay, they'll be on either with us, one of those 2 qualifications. You sign them up as an existing worker traineeship with your apprenticeship centre. We help you work through all this process. We give you a Google Drive spreadsheet where we identify all your people with you, and then we send off all little information to a meeting with the apprenticeship centre. Meetings take, at the moment, I was talking to MEGT, 10 minutes on the phone with the person over the phone, or a Zoom meeting.
Actually, if you're in Victoria, it's probably easier because they don't have to come out to your site right now. You can do it over Zoom.
Yeah, well, that's what New South Wales are all doing theirs. They're not coming out.
New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, I know you've got to do face-to-face. WA will probably be the same.
Right, yeah. So at the moment, so the New South Wales people, they would just we send all the information off to the apprenticeship centre mob. They give you a call, set up a phone call or a Zoom meeting, and they had 10 minutes with the individual, and then 10 minutes later, they'd booked in to talk to the training coordinator. We tell you what you need to have beforehand. And then at the end of the meeting, you apply and get your wage subsidy piece of paper and sign up for that as well. And then they send us through the little official approval forms, and we contact you, get all your company approval forms in, get the enrolment forms in, and get your people up and running on the training.
So we have a question.
Yes.
What happens if the staff member leaves midway through completing the course?
Okay, so if they leave midway through completing the course, your wage subsidy will finish then because they aren't participating anymore, but you do not have to pay back the course.
Okay, and then the other part of your question is then in Victoria, do we pay for the courses up front? So I guess what she's thinking is, what if you pay up front and then they leave partway through? What happens?
Okay, we have a refund policy that can work through that scenario as well.
So Natalie, if you need some clarification, just ask another question or just get hold of us in the office. But yeah, you're not expected to pay for something that you don't get.
Yeah, so it will be on proportional of the course, the program running through.
Okay, let's talk about new employees because I know people get really confused about that.
Yeah. Okay, so the new employees are the ones that you can definitely get on and get through. So it's people that you've hired less than 90 days ago. So even if you're up to 89 days, as long as you contact us today and quickly put them in and got this process started with the apprenticeship centre mob, they will be able to run it through from there.
Yeah, so as long as you basically put your flag in the ground and said, I want to do this.
Yes, yes. So be very quick. So go through, the very first thing we get all of the employers that we work with to do is to identify anyone that they have currently already employed, and then or upgraded from part-time to full-time becomes part of that as well.
So what are we now, the 21st of September? So basically anybody that you've employed from late June.
Yep. July or August,
they will be eligible for the big range of courses because they're counted as a new worker.
Yes, and so so number one, we identify them, get them on, and then we look at your existing workers.
Okay.
Yeah, bigger range of courses, sort of 14, 15 courses in most states.
And we'll show those in a moment.
Yeah, we'll show those.
So permanent full-timers who you've already hired in the last 3 months, they're eligible. Yep. People that you hire between now and March next year.
Yes, definitely. Be looking at those. So just add into your interviews to make sure they're happy to do a qualification, either certificate 4 or diploma, when they come on with you.
Now, there's some funny rules, and actually we've got a question here from Barry and just asked, do staff have to be full-time?
No.
No. So tell us what the situation is with casuals.
Okay, so casuals, again, it's slightly different each state. So when you get your documents through from us, just check for your state. But casuals upgraded from part-time to full-time, or people that you're putting on for part-time as well. Part-time's usually 15 hours plus
so basically if you've got casuals that are doing 60 hours a month, like 15 hours a week by average, and you're not going to give industrial relations advice, I know, but you could actually decide to make them into part-timers, and as long as they're still doing 60 hours a month, like averaging 15 hours a week, and it can be an average, then they would be eligible. Yeah,
absolutely. And we've got lots of employers that are doing that as well. And it has provided that much more security for the employees as well.
So casuals are not eligible if they stay casual, but if they become part-time, then they're counted as a new worker.
A new worker.
Or they can become, or part-timers could become full-time and be counted as a new worker as well.
Yes.
And the other thing is that if they are part-timers and they've been there for less than a year, then they are still new workers.
New workers. Yeah.
So probably the best way to do it would it be to let you know.
Yeah, so just on when we give you Google Drive spreadsheet, you just add them all on there, and then we can check it against the rules and check it against with the apprenticeship centre mob, and we just have a column as to what it's going to be. So you put them all on there anyway.
Even if you don't end up on.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you put it on there. It works really, really well because we just get to both looking at Sally Jones as the name, and we can both discuss Sally.
And then put notes against Sally's out or Sally's in.
Yeah. So it makes it really simple for organising for both and that communication.
So Stephen's question of are permanent part-time staff eligible? They are, if they're eligible for the safety or the civil course, yes. If they have been there for less than 12 months, then they're eligible for the bigger range of courses. So yeah, you can do this at part-time, but you wouldn't necessarily get the full $7,000 per quarter, would you?
No, so it's half the wages up to $7,000. So what happens is, very simply, at the end of each quarter, the government sends you a little email to say, hi, upload your wage slips for Sally Jones for the last quarter. And so depending as to how much money you've paid Sally Jones in that quarter, they will pay you half of that money up to a maximum of $7,000.
Right. So if they're part-time and they're getting much less than that, you just get half of that.
Yeah. So if they earn 15,000 in that quarter, also if they earn less than 15, but so if they earn 5,000 in that quarter, then you'll get $2,500 back.
Cool. Okay, and courses for new employees.
Yeah, okay. So these are some exciting things. Now we've got people coming on, when I look at these sheets here, for nearly all of those different sorts of courses. So it's what's going to suit your business and what's going to suit that employee, so
And
they learn most.
not all the states have all these courses.
No, so in Western Australia you are more restricted. At the diploma level, we've got a lot of people doing leadership management in there. So yeah, have a look at all of those. We've got people doing entrepreneurship, new business. We've got lots of leadership management, lots of business coming through. The junior office staff are all doing their Cert 4 in business sort of things, if you've got new people coming through. We've got lots of projects, management practice happening. Yeah, so lots of the diploma level quals.
So if somebody's sitting there and they're in Tasmania, hello Tasmania person, or they're in WA, how do they find out which courses their people can do?
Okay, so on our list of, when we send you your Google Drive sheet, we've got another tab on it where you can download each of the course flyers for your state.
So will you tell them at the end of this how to get their Google Drive?
Yeah, yep, yes, well, to get you a Google Drive sheet that we can really get working on, and you'll be able to have a look at it and then choose something with that person that will suit their role.
Awesome. Okay, so how much is it going to cost? Because we've talked about how much people are going to get, but there's a cost.
Yeah, so depending now, it just depends as to where you are and what course you want to do. So typically it's between $5,000 and $7,000. So our cheapest courses are in the 5.5 sort of range. The dearest is 7,860 for sort of like the diploma sort of courses.
And do they have to pay that up front?
No, so you get to pay a $2,000 kind of deposit, first one, and then sort of 90 days later when you're getting some money in from the your wage subsidy.
What if they don't get approved for the wage subsidy?
Okay, so if you don't get approved from the wage subsidy, you'll see on everything we have a risk-free guarantee. We don't take any money from you until your enrolment forms are in. And your enrolment forms are going to kind of come in when we've already got your approvals through from your state government.
Right, so there's no danger that they're going to pay you for a course and then not get a wage subsidy.
And keep in mind, we've been here for 16 years. We're not planning on going anywhere. And a lot of our employers we've been working with for the last 12 years. And continually still send people through. Lots of the councils and things have got people on this program. We've been working for them the last 12 years. Lots of the civil companies have got people on this program. We've been working with them, and we're just setting up more and more courses and things with them. So yeah, so don't worry about that. If you're really in financial, dire straits, let us know as well.
So you can work out something.
Yeah, we'll work out something for it.
And of course, in New South Wales, which we do have quite a few people here from New South Wales, then for new workers, it's free.
New workers, totally free.
Awesome. Thanks to who?
The New South Wales government. So we will actually very much thank them for their support on all of this. And that because of lockdown, we've got places for selling free, units and things like that for the people who just do short courses. So New South Wales government, it does have a lot happening for their people. And then if you're in construction and you're in Queensland, the CSQ fund that and it's as well. Yeah.
And that's if the person lives or works in Queensland.
Yeah, lives or works in Queensland. So we've got a lot of New South Wales employers that have people that live in Queensland and they're able to get their course subsidised as well.
Although perhaps they're not able to go to work at the moment.
No, there's lots of things happening.
Okay, so
keep in mind though, also we're very good at people if they are stuck and doing quarantine. I've got a lot of employers getting us through, hi Anne, can you get this person stuck and they can't go anywhere, can you actually get their course speeded up and actually be working faster through their course? We're doing a lot of lockdown shutdown sort of training.
And actually, you know how a few weeks ago in New South Wales when the construction industry shut down for 2 weeks and you had a whole lot of students enroll from their employer saying, my guys have got nothing to do for 2 weeks, can they do project management or whatever?
Yeah.
You could, if anyone's in Victoria and in that same temporary 2-week shutdown for construction, you can probably you can move pretty fast then. If
we can, yeah. So individually, just talk to us and we can see what we can do to help you, because we really are here to support you as business owners and training coordinators.
So how do people actually go about claiming the actual money? Okay,
so at your apprenticeship centre meeting, so you work through your little spreadsheet with us, we send it off, that you're going to have a meeting with the apprenticeship centre mob, that 10-minute meeting. At that meeting, you apply also for the wage subsidy. There's a form you fill out for that for each of your people. Then at the end of the quarter, they send you reminders to say, hi, this is like a letter, upload their wage slips, and then you get paid money into your bank account.
And so it's quarterly and it's not based on when your process starts, it's based on the financial quarters.
Yeah.
So the next payment is the middle of October. So if you can get someone registered, enrolled in the next couple of weeks, then you might get a little bit, but then your main payment, your next one will come in January.
January, yes.
All right. So how does that actually work, the training? Like, because at the moment they can't go to college most places anyway, but employers that I've talked to are like, we'd like to do this, but our people are too busy to go and do a course.
Okay, so yes, so with us, your employees will not be leaving your workplace or anything extra. So it's all one-on-one training unless you organise a group training sessions with us for multiple people. So one-on-one training, it works as basically we try and coordinate at the same time. So for example, today's Tuesday and the webinar started at 11:30. Your person, Sally Jones, might be on with her trainer at 11:30 on a Tuesday morning. So on Tuesday mornings, expect that Sally will get a phone call from either her trainer or her completion coach. And we try and keep it around the same sort of time. So each month she'll be talking to her trainer about the course and what's due in the assessments. She'll also get some time to be talking to a completion coach, and they keep you motivated. They sort out any issues for you. They become the best friend of the person traveling through. It just works really, really well. And the students just so much appreciate working with their completion coaches as well as their trainers. And then there's I said once a month where they're actually doing things in the organisation where they've got to go and find policies, procedures and systems and things. So online access to everything, no attendance of workshops or any off-time class required, no exams, no essays, it's all real activities and things to do. The most they're going to have to write is 4 to 6 sentences if they're doing a Cert 4, and a diploma 6 to 8 sentences.
Now, someone said to me, yeah, but my people don't do writing.
Okay, so they can either, we now teach them how to do voice to text, so you can answer your questions, and if really needed, then they can actually be interviewed by the trainer. We can arrange that for different cases
so
as well.
So it's practical, really.
I mean, it really is. It's looking at your forms and everything that they're basically using, but they will learn so much about your organisation as they work through it. And they complete the units over the 12 months. There's a picture of Wendy. Wendy's been with us for the last 12 years. I think 2010 is her student number. One of our guys from 2009 came back through on this program the other day as a new person for a new company. So he said, hey.
So is it taking Wendy 11 years to do her course?
No, Wendy's done some multiple courses with us, but she was graduating with us earlier in the year. And Cameron, that's just come back on today. Hi, Cameron, if you're around. Yeah, he did a Cert 4 in business with us back in 2009, and now he's doing his Diploma of Leadership and Management, and still has the books and things that we gave him back then, and still using them. Cool. Things. So yeah, his career's really progressed, and it was just great.
That's awesome. Now, I presume you're not doing anything that looks like these photos at the moment.
Well, we kind of are, but unfortunately the trainer's just not there. So you can still, if you've got a group of people, you can still pull them in together, and they can be working on their assessments together. You just provide a coordinator at your end that will join them in the workshop room, and our trainers will Zoom in and still interact and talk with them and everything as well.
And you might want to clarify that people can put them in a room and Zoom in, but also you could have people in 20 different locations.
Yes, yeah. And what I've got is we've actually made videos of this so that you can actually see how it works. So you can see how in the top corner where they're doing activities, we've got a video of making change stick that you can have a look at. It's informative that you'll learn about how to make change stick in your organisation, but also how can we make this happen.
We can still do activities on Zoom.
Yeah, so we can still do activities on Zoom. You can have people around the country that can still be all Zoomed in at the same time. Yeah, we've definitely got companies that have got us having their trainer talking to multiple of their students and their people at the same time.
And I have noticed, and I mean this very politely, that when the trainers are in the office, there's a lot of grey hair. Yes. So there's quite a lot of experience in those trainers. Yeah,
look, we have amazing trainers. They are so passionate about their people and the topics that they train. It's really, really exciting. And the people just love it. If you'd like to meet our trainers, we've got because what happens is they, at the webinars, our online graduations, they all introduce themselves, and you'll just get to know all of the trainers. So if you'd like to meet some of the trainers, I can send you a video of the graduation and you'll get to see those trainers. But no, they're just fabulous. But they tell really, really, really bad dad jokes too.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a cultural thing.
So there's lots of laughter around our organisation with really bad jokes.
Okay, so we talked before about this whole what if you pay or that sort of thing. Can you explain the guarantee?
Okay, so again, you don't pay anything until you've been approved by the government, and we've got these sort of forms in. We will send you a company paying approval form out so that we know who to invoice and everything before we actually start enrolling with your students onto with the trainers and things like that.
So we have a couple more questions, and for anyone who asked questions before, if we didn't quite answer them, then just clarify, please. And we're almost at the end, so if anyone's got any other questions, now would be the time to drop them in. So a question from Lee: are the tutorials in business hours?
Yes, okay, so we can arrange outside, but we usually use those for individuals that are training with us, and most employers do allow some time within the work hours. But yeah, my trainers are just fabulous. Yeah, I've got trainers that really are working with groups from 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so they'll be flexible. Basically.
Yeah, they'll be flexible. Just let us know how many. And again, we use our great little Google Drive sheet and we put all the notes as to what's got to happen and who's needs to be where and everything extra.
As you can tell, Anne really likes her Google sheet.
It does. It just works. Yeah.
It does work
the
really
other
well.
thing that works really well, and the HR coordinators have, is that we give you access to the students' portal. So you are able to track at any moment what your students are doing and where they're up to and everything, and just have access to your people. So between two sheets, the one sheet keeps track of who your potential people are, where they are at the process of getting them in, getting them enrolled. It even allows you to track what payments you've claimed and everything. So one sheet for that, and then access to the portal, and the HR people and the coordinators in each of the companies just find it really easy to work with us.
Because we discovered early on, didn't we, that enrolling them in the course is the easy, but it's organising or the organisation around it.
The course is really easy. Getting the wage subsidy is just that little bit in between, but yeah, a bit of organising, coordinating. So you nominate a coordinator from your end, we give you a coordinator from this end, and a sheet in between that you can both work on at the same time and chat about. Gets it through really smartly, really easily.
So a question from Guy: do you have any resources you can link us where we can employ trainees or juniors that will go through these courses? Okay, well, it could be juniors. I won't explain that.
All right, so keep in mind that it doesn't have to be juniors.
So really anybody that you're employing.
So whoever you are employing, it can be your manager, it can be anyone that you're putting on can be doing.
So you could basically put an ad on Seek for a project manager or an office administrator or anything. Yeah,
and you don't have to advertise it as a traineeship position, because you're going to pay them your normal wages.
Yeah.
Everything is going to be exactly the same. The only thing you'll do is allow them a bit of extra time at work to actually learn about your policies, procedures and systems, and you add it part of their induction program. It's not, so you run it per normal, and then just at the interview we just say, look, hi, one of the benefits of working with us is that we get to offer you a professional development certificate for or diploma course. It will mean that you gain a qualification, and at the same time we'll get a wage subsidy, which helps you because it allows you to stick around longer for the 12 months. I'm not, it saves that first on, last on, first off kind of scenario, because you're going to be there for the 12 months. I haven't had anybody at the moment in any of my interviews to say, no, I don't want to do any, a course or anything, because they really are going to learn. It's great benefit for them. They get to show you that they're keen, they're proactive.
So I think the question within the question, so Guy, the first thing probably is that they don't need to be trainees in the traditional sense or juniors.
You don't have to advertise as
any
trainers.
New employee.
Any new employee.
If you do want trainees or juniors specifically though.
Okay, so if you want juniors or trainees specifically, what we do is we work with our local schools and talk to the school-based apprenticeship coordinator that's at that school. So our local school, we've got a lady called Leanne, and so we've already told Leanne that, hi, I need some more school-based trainees, but I'm also looking for employees for next year, for people finishing year 12 that aren't going to uni next year. And so I've already just made a phone call and sent her and had a chat with her, and she's the school-based training coordinator at the local high school.
Right, or the schools would have like a vocational.
So they always have a person like Leanne there, and so so she's on the lookout for anyone not wanting to go to uni next year to find me some staff.
The other thing that I have seen is that I know I got one trainee via the apprenticeship centres themselves.
Okay.
They have like a job board, but there's quite a lot of competition. Like from the employer side, there's more employers than there are employees there at the moment.
Right.
So schools are probably going to be more chance of finding someone.
So for this next term, if you're looking for year 10, now a lot of our people, we put them on when they're 14 as school-based trainees, and then they stay with us. So our techie guys were both here a moment ago. Some of them are 24 and things now. They've been here 10 years with us.
But they still did school as well. You didn't
they still
school.
No. So they were doing their school-based apprenticeship a day a week with us, and then would work here on the holidays. So it's holiday time at the moment. One of those guys is year 12, so he's doing extra hours and things.
Right.
And then they'll keep working with us after. So we try and get young, and then they'll keep staying with us.
So let me know, sorry, who was that guy? Let me know if that actually answered what you needed to know, or otherwise we can clarify. Okay, so where to from here?
Okay, so where to from here? Send us a quick, it's no pressure from us. Send us a quick email to Wage Subsidy at Global Training, and we will send you your Google Sheet that we can get you up and sort of get running, identify just your people. You'll also be allocated your own account manager. So you'll get a lovely Tegan or Georgie or David or,
So do they have to have decided that they're going to put some people on?
No,
or can they do this first before
they can do you can do it first. Just pop some names of some people on their sheets and have a chat with us, and and we'll get it all working out with you.
And then we'll either come back and go, look, you've got nobody that's eligible, or yes, you could put these 3 people on this course or whatever. So it's a starting point to try and figure out what people can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, no money to make pay.
No money,
Okay, and I think that's it. Anne, did you want to say anything to say? Well, thank you, everybody. We had some really good questions. We had a really good turnout too.
Oh, good. No.
Anything you want to say?
No, so just, feeling for anyone in some of those other places. But so talk to us. We're happy to work with you because we really are seeing the benefits for the students and the employers. And it is a win for each of the people. So don't feel guilty. It's a win for the government. It's a win for you. It's a win for your employees. And let's just get on and make it all happen. Okay. Melanie, did you have a joke today?
No, because last time, everyone's going to leave now, I can see it. Last time Anne said to me, can you tell a joke? And then everybody left the webinar. So I'm not telling one this time. So I think we'll round it up there.
Yeah, we'll round it up there. Look out for my jokes coming in the newsletter. Those poor people in Victoria and New South Wales always actually write back and say, Anne, thanks for the jokes. So it's kind of the sort of highlight and it puts a bit of fun in our life. So
right.
enjoy. Stay safe. Bye.
Bye.